Hey everyone, this is Dan, and in this video we've got a bit of a bluesy thing going on, so we're going to talk about how to turn simple chugging along blues shuffle rhythms into something a lot more interesting by using a little formula that we're going to talk about. And we're going to be using some lead embellishments over certain parts of the 12-bar blues progression that we'll be focusing on. Keep in mind, by the way, that this is just one way that you can put embellishments over your rhythms. There are infinite ways to do it in blues. This is just an idea that you can use a little formula so that you can easily come up with things quickly on your own, sometimes, spontaneously if you're in a jam or something. But let's recap. A 12-bar blues will be 4 bars of E, 2 bars of A, 2 bars of E, 1 bar of B, 1 bar of A, 1 bar of E, and then 1 bar of B to finish. That's a general simple 12-bar blues, okay? There are some variations, but let's just focus on this for now. So in the intro, for the first 4 bars of E, we played over the first 2 bars this sort of rhythm. In that kind of shuffle style. Then we did this sort of thing. Okay? So what I want to teach you first is this particular little riff. This will be a common factor in all of these little lead parts, at least for now. You can change things up on your own will at any point, but to get ourselves started, we're going to be using this riff to end everything. So we're going to start off on the 4th fret of the G, slide to the 2nd fret. So this slide will be like kind of a ghost note on the 4th fret. We don't want to sound out the 4th fret too much. We want this sound as opposed to. Okay, so we just want. Then we pull off, so it'll be a downstroke slide, pull off to open G. Then I use my 2nd finger for that, by the way, and then 2nd finger again, downstroke on the 2nd fret of the D. Then upstroke, open G, hammer on 1st fret with the 1st finger, and then finally another upstroke over the high E and B open strings. Then straight away we'll go into this riff. Okay, there'll be 2 chugs on the low E and then 2nd fret on the A, and then I put one of my fingers, you can use a 3rd or 4th, whatever you want, on the 4th fret of the A with the open E, and then finally back to the 2nd fret on the A with the open E. Let's play it again. So that's the riff. I want you to practice as much as possible, get it under your fingers so you can play it pretty fluently without having to think about it. Okay, so there's a reason, as I said, I want you to learn that riff first. Now we're going to go into the start of the first little lead embellishment we did. Sounded like this. Okay, that's the first part, first 6 notes, keep in mind. We're going to slide from the 2nd fret on the G to the 4th. Okay, another quick slide. It's a downstroke, and then I upstroke on the 2nd fret of the B, and then play the 4th fret as a downstroke on the G again, okay? Keep in mind this 4th fret is like a pedal note here. Then another upstroke here, 5th fret of the B, then back to the 4th fret of the G. And then finally, 3rd fret of the high E, upstroke. Hey, there's the first 6 notes. The second 6 notes are going to be a slide here from the, a kind of a ghost note slide again from the 6th fret to the 5th fret on the high E, upstroke, and then pull off to the 3rd fret. And then we're using a 3rd finger to roll here. We're going to go a down, up, down, picking on the 5th fret of the B, the high E, and then back to the B, okay? And then finally, 3rd fret upstroke on the high E. Then, straight back into that riff we learned earlier. So, as I said, we wanted to learn that riff first at the end because that's the one that will be the common factor. So. So let's break down this riff, okay? If we're thinking about timings here, we have beats that go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be using this sort of feel, okay? They're like triplet notes, so it'll be a 1 under, 2 under, 3 under, 4 under, or a da 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 da. So we're going to think about all the notes that we play in that sort of, with that sort of idea in mind. So we're going to break it down into 6-note chunks. So the first 6 notes were this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the second 6 notes were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So easy, right? That's 12 notes cut down into 2 6-note segments. And then we ended with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then finally we have that. And by the way, it will, keep in mind, fit over that triplet feel, because you could do something like this. Just to kind of emphasize the triplets that we're playing. So yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that is basically 2 whole bars of an E there, but using some embellishment. So then we went into the 2 bars of A. And now we did another little lead part. It uses exactly the same formula as the first one, but just in a different position here and doing a different, melody. Let's play that slower. And then we went. So you can see the common factor there. So let's just count the notes again first before we get into the actual notes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see the same thing going on, right? Now I decided to use this position here. It's a little bit more complex because of the little bends that we have going on, but it's a very bluesy sort of melody anyway. So we're starting off by going, which is sliding into this 6th fret on the G, then playing, that's a downstroke, then we're playing the 5th fret, upstroke on the B, back to another 6th fret on the G. Now these next 3 notes are played with upstrokes, at least that's how I play them. I bend this 7th fret on the B up slightly, maybe a semitone or a little bit more. Okay, and then we play, that's my 3rd finger bend. Then I play 5th fret and then 7th fret, both of my, 1st finger then 2nd finger with upstrokes, okay? So bend with the 3rd finger, and then we go 1st finger, 2nd finger. And then we go, okay, this one is another 2 upstrokes actually I use here, another bend on the 8th fret of the B, again maybe a half a tone or a little bit more. And cut that note off at the top, and then 5th fret on the B, 6th fret on the G. Okay, all of these bends we cut off at the top, by the way. And then finally, last 3 notes. Okay, I use my little finger here, 8th fret on the B, and then 6th fret on the G. Up, down, up here, up, down, and then finally 7th fret on the B. Back into that slide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so basically the idea here, the simple idea before this, is to come up with 2 sets of 6 notes of the triplet feel, okay? But do it twice. So another example of this could be something along the lines of, and then into, that sort of thing, okay? So what is that? Again, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sliding from 2nd to 4 on the G, then playing the B and the high E open, then again a slide from the 3rd fret on the B to the 5th, and then E and then B, okay? And then I went, which is a bend on the 3rd fret, kind of a blues curl, high E and B, and then again another slide from the 3rd to the 5th on the B, and then high E and B. Then back into that. So that's another example. We can count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? There's little things like that that you can come up with on the spot. So, there it is. Pretty easy way of thinking about it. That's the formula. Just 6 notes, triplets, played twice. And then into that. So play around with it. Just try and come up with other little melodies, other little notes. Just figure out where the little bends are, and little phrases that'll fit under your fingers well before that slide down to the end riff. Okay. And the little outro, sorry, the turnaround that we did at the end was something like. Okay, if you want to learn that, just as a little bonus here. I started off with this bend, 2nd fret on the B, 3rd fret of the high E, little blues curl bend there, and then high E and B together, and then it was, so that bend, by the way, fits over 2 of those triplet notes. Then we went, which is a slide from the 3rd to the 5th on the B, then high E and B, down, up, down, and then it was, so there's a pull off from the 3rd fret on the B to the open B, and then high E, okay? Then it was a slide again, as we did before with that first riff that we learned. But we don't play the high E on the end, we just play the B on its own. Just to emphasize that we're on a B chord here to end, with this turnaround. Then we can play like a B9 or something. Okay? B9, 2nd fret on the A, 1st fret on the D, and then 2nd fret on the G, B, and E. Okay? So that's an idea for a turnaround, okay? That sort of thing is what we did. So, just play around. You'll be able to come up with things on your own. You can even do these high little riffs up here, over the 12th fret area if you want. Just have a little go at whatever you feel, and in the end you'll be jamming around, coming up with these things without even thinking. Okay, I'll see you soon. Have fun with this, and as I've always said, just enjoy yourself and have a good time. Goodbye.